Hey guys, welcome back to the Interceptor, and we are here with a war I didn't really enjoy that much because I feel like I'm the victim of a targeted ban. Or maybe, you can't really do targeted bans anymore because you don't know who you're matching until the war starts. So I guess that doesn't make sense, but I definitely think that my showing of how busted Stealth Spidey is really contributes or has contributed to him getting banned sometimes, because Stealth Spidey was banned for the first time I've ever seen, not just in my videos, in anyone's videos. I've never seen Stealth Spidey be banned before, and he was banned. We don't even ban him personally, and everyone in my alliance sees everything that I do every war, and they still don't ban him. But we are being forced today to use champions that are not Stealth Spidey. So because of that, I was only assigned 4 fights. Now I ended up picking up one more fight because a guy died and I had to go be sent as backup. But this is Wongers on Path 3 Section 1, and I'm using Cassie Lang. And let me tell you, my Cassie Lang is very rusty because I have not had to use her for like a season and a half, and this is gonna be a bad war with her. It's just gonna, like, it's not terrible, it's just, rusty is kind of the perfect way to put it. I feel like I could have just done a lot better in my fights with her. Here I need to put on my poison, which I do. I definitely didn't do a bad job in this war. I did exactly what I had to, but I definitely could have played better. And we get one sketchy fight in this war that takes over 3 minutes, and for the entire fight, I was terrified I was going to timeout, and I wish I was joking. No, I was literally terrified I was going to timeout in said fight. And then there, I did not notice how low my gas was, because I actually could have stunned myself if I held heavy for like another frame. But here on the next node we have a Red Skull, another tactic champion, and this is on the electric defense node, which means that I'm going to be taking damage every single time that I hit him, but the attacker tactic is actually going to take care of that. If it hadn't, I could have done this with Red Magneto, but unfortunately my 6-star Red Magneto is rank 3 unduped, and I didn't really want to bring an unduped Magneto because you lose out on all the damage from the heavy, so I decided to ascend my rank 5-star Magneto just for this war, which I think was the right call. And then there, I started charging heavy just barely too late. Like, it was close, just barely too late. Also in this fight, I do not have access to my taunt because every single time I hit him, I put the power lock on myself, or the special lock on myself, and there's nothing I can do to get rid of it unless I sit back in my own corner, super passive, and I just lose a lot of time. But there, I shouldn't have gone for the heavy. I should have gone for, and then there I tried to chain it into another heavy, got punished for it. But these are not the worst fights. The 5th fight of this war, the last fight of this war, is a Cassie Lang fight, the fight where I had to clean up. And honestly, if I played as bad as I did in that cleanup fight, the whole fight, if I was originally assigned it, I might have died. Genuinely, I might have died. Because it was just, like, it was right before I was going to bed, and I don't know, I was not in the mood to do war. I received a message from my officer. He's like, hey, can you please go clean up this fight? Which I really don't mind doing. That's completely fine. But I wanted to make sure that I wouldn't be asked to clean up 2 fights, because I didn't want to boost a 3rd time this war, because it was like hours after I initially cleared. And I said, is there any chance that you're going to ask me for backup on any other fights? Because if there is, I'd rather wait so I could take them both at the same time. And he said, no, I don't think I'd ask you for backup on any other fight. So I said, great, I'll clear now. But this is the best fight of the war. This is a rank 5-star future AntMan, and this node gives glancing based on the armor ups, but I am actually running 3 out of 3 pacify, which means that the defensive ability accuracy from Red Magneto is 100% on heavy attacks while the defender is stunned, so he will literally never gain an armor up. Unless I like hit into his block or something, he might have a chance to do so. Or if he intercepted me, he would have a chance to do so as well. But here, we are just charging heavy, but there I just miss a parry. That's the only mistake in this fight, because this SP3 is actually going to kill him. And if you don't know the way that future Ant-Man works, he reduces the duration of bleeds, but he doesn't reduce the duration of the damage. So the shrapnel bleeds actually kill faster because they expire faster. And I knew that would happen. So that was just a really nice fight. But now we're into the scary fight, the annoying fight, the long fight. Nimrod on this node is immune to shock. I was assigned Shuri for this fight. I knew it was immune to shock, but I figured my basic hits would be doing more damage than they were in this fight, because basically at all times in the fight, he's going to have at least 2 armor ups, which is already a 60% chance to glance any hits, which means that my crits won't crit and they'll do way less damage. But the one thing I do have is 3 out of 3 pacify, so that I can reduce that 60% chance to glance down to 30% during stuns. And you're actually going to see I'm going to use that this whole fight, and I'm going to get a lot of stuns here. Oh no, it's not here. There's one point in this fight where I get pushed to an SP2 where I didn't want to. But we are just throwing SP1 because even with no shocks on the defender, we still build up a few of our crit charges, although it's obviously nowhere near as many as you do when you have the active shocks on. Here's where I get pushed to SP2. I actually fully have dex all of his specials even when they're unblockable this fight, so it was a beautiful fight, and I am actually going to finish at 100% health, but it's a long fight, and I apologize for the torture, but we are able to use Pacify to get our crits in sometimes, so that's actually really nice. And then here he has no armor up, so he's not going to glance us at all. But unfortunately I pushed to SP2. He throws his SP2, which means I lose out on all of the time in the fight where he had no armor ups. But yeah, like I said, this is an R5 Nimrod. Even if this Nimrod was ascended, I would not be timing out. I would still have enough time to kill him. But yeah, that SP1, those hits were hitting for like 100 damage. That's how bad my damage is here. But yeah, when I actually parry, my crits land pretty often because of the ability accuracy reduction. But 2 minutes in, he's half down, so we're on pace for just under a 4-minute fight, and the fight's actually going to speed up at the end, and it's going to take just barely over 3 minutes. But still not a nice fight, and I did speak with my officer. I said, hey, I didn't really realize how much I would be glancing. I did see the shock immunity. I didn't realize how much I would be glancing in this fight, so maybe next time we could send a Nebula, because while there is the shock immune node, you can at least turn off the glancing by getting your charges as long as you don't parry. And that would have been a way faster option to just hit with basic hits with Nebula, because you can crit normally. But there would never be any glancing, and you'd also be able to shut off things like the Unstoppable and the Enervate, I believe, because I'm pretty sure Nebula actually shuts down all ability accuracy, not just defensive ability accuracy, but I could be losing my mind right now because I haven't used her in a long time, because she is only a rank 3 6-star. But if I had to redo this war, I would definitely bring in her as a rank 3 6-star over Shuri, even though it was just for this one fight. But yeah, we do finish at 100% health, slightly over 3 minutes, and that's all for the fights I was assigned. But that maw there is actually the one that I'm going to have to go clean up. So I healed Cassie, and I didn't show it, but I did boost back up again. And this is just super sloppy. I'm going to get rooted. I'm going to get comboed. I'm going to forget about the miss, and I'm going to miss. I'm going to activate the degeneration. But the nice thing Ma is a global champion, which means I will not be taking any degen damage or anything like that. So there I went for a 4-hit light combo, SP1 countering with a heavy for the sole purpose of turning off the timer. Here I believe I'm going to go for an SP1, but I should have ended that combo in a light because I would have re-inflicted my poison. And this fight's not going to go well. So right there, my timing was off. I get countered, and here I'm not going to hit my parry. There I should have comboed a full. I should have done a full combo into a light, but now I'm going to get rooted again, and the root's going to expire just in time for the falter to come back, so I can't inflict a taunt. Here I'm going to get rooted again because I was too far out with my heavy, and here she's finally going to go down after this this miss goes away. But oh my god, this fight was just terrifying. I played it so badly, like actually so terribly. But it's over, and luckily it was only a cleanup fight, and that's actually it. I think this is the least number of fights I've taken in a single war in over 2 seasons. 5 fights is super low for me. That's really low. Last war I had 10, and so far this season I've been averaging like 8.5 fights per war. But yeah, that's it for the war, and unfortunately we lost again. So we're down to a record of 1-4. This war, we had a chance to win. They had cleared 150 fights with 11 deaths. We had 135 fights with 9 deaths. But we had already at 135 fights taken longer to clear than they did. So if we cleared with 0 or 1 deaths, we win the war. If we clear with 2 or more, we lose. We died exactly 2 times. We tied them 11-11, and we lost on the tiebreaker for the second time this season. So if we just died 1 less times in either war, or in both wars, we would have won both wars, and we would have been 3-2 right now instead of 1-4. But yeah, we are sitting right in the middle of Platinum 2. Probably not a good place to be when you're aiming to end in Masters, but hopefully we get ourselves out of the funk we're in right now. And next war, Stealthy's not banned. As of the time I'm recording this, the war started an hour and a half ago. Stealthy is not banned, which is beautiful, because from what I was looking at when I was initially looking at the map, it appears I'll have 8 fights if I get the path I expect to be assigned. Right now, if I had to guess, I would say my team is going to be Stealth Spidey, Scorpion for sure, because that takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of my fights with Stealthy. And then I expect to be assigned either Hood for Gore on 42 or CGR for Adam Warlock on 47. Those are the paths I'm imagining, but there's also a Doom on node 44 that I could be assigned as well. Or sorry, no. 44. It's not 44. It's 45, which is the hazard shift and the one where he's shrugging debuffs. Because we sent a Valk last war and we died, but I've done that fight before with Valk. So if you send me, I won't die to that fight. But yeah, that's all for today. Like I said, we are 1-4. I still haven't died this season. I'm still having a great season personally. 5 wars in, I've taken 41 fights. So still, even with this war of only taking 5 fights, my average is still above 8 fights per war. So we are at 41 out of 41, or 100% for our PSR. And my Deathless streak is up to 42 fights. So yeah, that's all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day. Bye.